Imagine a future where humanity is no longer confined to Earth. A future where we've built cities on Mars, where we've turned a barren, red desert into a second home for our species. This isn't science fiction. This is the future Elon Musk is working tirelessly to create. Through SpaceX, Musk has set his sights on an audacious goal: to make humanity a multiplanetary species. But how? How can we possibly transform a cold, lifeless world like Mars into a place where humans can live, work, and thrive? And what does it mean for us as a species to take on such a monumental challenge? Elon Musk's vision for Mars is nothing short of revolutionary. He doesn't just want to send a few astronauts to the red planet for a quick visit. He wants to build a self-sustaining colony, a place where thousands and eventually millions of people can call home. But this isn't just about exploration or scientific discovery. For Musk, it's about survival. He believes that becoming a multiplanetary species is the only way to ensure the long-term survival of humanity. After all, Earth is vulnerable to asteroids, climate change, nuclear war, and countless other threats. Mars, on the other hand, offers a backup plan for our species. But let's be clear, colonizing Mars won't be easy. The challenges are enormous. Mars is a harsh, unforgiving world. Its atmosphere is thin, its temperatures are freezing, and its surface is bombarded with deadly radiation. There's no liquid water, no breathable air, and no protection from the harsh environment of space. And yet, Elon Musk believes we can overcome these challenges. He believes we can build a new world on Mars, a world where humanity can flourish for generations to come. In this video, we're going to explore Elon Musk's vision for Mars colonization. We'll dive into the technology behind SpaceX's Starship, the challenges of living on Mars, and the controversial idea of terraforming the red planet. We'll ask the big questions. Can we really make Mars habitable? Should we even try? And what does this mean for the future of humanity? This is a journey into the unknown, a journey that will challenge your imagination and expand your understanding of what's possible. So, buckle up. We're about to take a trip to Mars and beyond. But before we dive into the details, let's take a moment to appreciate the scale of what we're talking about. Mars isn't just another planet. It's a symbol of human ambition, ingenuity, and resilience. It's a reminder that we are capable of achieving the impossible, of reaching for the stars and making them our own. Elon Musk's vision for Mars isn't just about science or technology, it's about the future of humanity. And that's what makes it so exciting, so inspiring, and so important. So, let's get started. Let's explore the future of Mars and the future of us. Before we dive deeper into Elon Musk's vision for Mars and the challenges of colonizing the red planet, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exploration into the wonders of the universe. Your support helps us bring more mind-expanding content your way. Now let's unravel the future of humanity and our journey to Mars. Elon Musk's vision for Mars colonization is nothing short of bold, audacious, and some might say, even crazy. But if there's one thing we've learned about Musk, it's that he doesn't just dream big, he acts on those dreams. And his dream for Mars is no exception. Through SpaceX, Musk has laid out a detailed plan to make humanity a multiplanetary species. And it all starts with the Starship. The Starship is SpaceX's next-generation spacecraft designed to carry humans and cargo to Mars and beyond. It's a massive vehicle, standing nearly 400 feet tall when paired with its super-heavy booster. But it's not just its size that makes the Starship revolutionary, it's its capabilities. The Starship is designed to be fully reusable, meaning it can fly to Mars, return to Earth, and fly again, drastically reducing the cost of space travel. Musk has said that the goal is to make Mars colonization affordable, with tickets potentially costing as little as $100,000 per person. That might sound like a lot, but compared to the billions it costs to send astronauts to space today, it's a game changer. But the Starship isn't just about getting to Mars, it's about staying there. Musk envisions a fleet of starships making regular trips to the Red Planet, carrying everything needed to build a self-sustaining colony. We're talking about habitats, life support systems, power generators, and even the materials needed to grow food. The goal is to create a city on Mars, a city that can support thousands and eventually millions of people. And Musk isn't just thinking small, he's thinking big. He's talked about building a civilization on Mars that's not just a backup for humanity, but a thriving, independent society. Of course, getting to Mars is just the first step. Once we're there, we'll face a whole new set of challenges. Mars is a hostile environment, with temperatures that can drop to negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit, an atmosphere that's 95% carbon dioxide, and no magnetic field to protect against deadly radiation. But Musk believes we can overcome these challenges through innovation, determination, and sheer human willpower. He's even proposed some controversial ideas for making Mars more habitable, ideas that we'll explore later in this video. For now, let's focus on the Starship and what it represents. The Starship isn't just a spacecraft, it's a symbol of human ambition. It's a reminder that we are capable of achieving the impossible, of reaching for the stars and making them our own. Elon Musk's vision for Mars isn't just about science or technology, it's about the future of humanity. And that's what makes it so exciting, so inspiring, and so important. But let's not stop there. The Starship is just one piece of the puzzle. Musk's vision for Mars colonization goes far beyond just building a spacecraft. It's about creating an entire infrastructure that can support life on another planet. This includes everything from power systems and water extraction to food production and waste management. And Musk isn't just thinking about the short term, he's thinking about the long term. He wants to create a civilization on Mars that's not just self-sustaining, but thriving. One of the key components of Musk's plan is the idea of a Mars base. This would be the first step in establishing a permanent human presence on the Red Planet. The base would serve as a hub for scientific research, resource extraction, and eventually the construction of a larger colony. Musk has even talked about the possibility of building a Mars city, complete with homes, schools, and businesses. It's an ambitious vision, to say the least. But if anyone can make it happen, it's Elon Musk. But let's not forget the challenges. Mars is a harsh, unforgiving world. The planet's thin atmosphere offers little protection from radiation, and its surface is covered in toxic dust. The lack of a magnetic field means that solar flares and cosmic rays could pose a serious threat to human health. And then there's the issue of water. While there's evidence that Mars has ice beneath its surface, extracting and purifying that ice will be no easy task. These are just a few of the obstacles that stand in the way of Musk's vision, but he's confident that we can overcome them. In fact, Musk has proposed some radical solutions to these challenges. One of the most controversial is the idea of terraforming Mars, transforming the planet's environment to make it more Earth-like. This could involve releasing greenhouse gases to thicken the atmosphere, melting the polar ice caps to create liquid water, and even introducing genetically engineered plants to produce oxygen. It's a bold idea, but it's also one that raises serious ethical and environmental questions. We'll explore these ideas in more detail later in the video. For now, let's focus on the Starship and what it represents. The Starship isn't just a spacecraft, it's a symbol of human ambition. It's a reminder that we are capable of achieving the impossible, of reaching for the stars and making them our own. Elon Musk's vision for Mars isn't just about science or technology, it's about the future of humanity. And that's what makes it so exciting, so inspiring, and so important. Mars is a world of extremes, a place where the very conditions that make life possible on Earth are absent. If humanity is to colonize the Red Planet, we'll need to confront these challenges head-on. And let's be clear, the challenges are enormous. From the deadly radiation that bombards the surface to the lack of breathable air and liquid water, Mars is a hostile environment in every sense of the word. but Elon Musk and SpaceX believe these challenges can be overcome through innovation, technology, and sheer human determination. So, what exactly are we up against? Let's break it down. First, there's the issue of radiation. Unlike Earth, Mars doesn't have a strong magnetic field to deflect harmful cosmic rays and solar radiation. This means that anyone living on the surface would be exposed to levels of radiation hundreds of times higher than what we experience on Earth. Over time, this could lead to serious health problems, including cancer and damage to the central nervous system. To survive, Martian colonists would need to live in heavily shielded habitats or even underground, but even then, the risk remains significant. Elon Musk has acknowledged this challenge, but he believes that with the right technology, we can mitigate the risks. For example, SpaceX is exploring the use of water-rich materials to build radiation shields, and there's even talk of creating artificial magnetic fields to protect the colony. Then there's the problem of the atmosphere, or rather, the lack of one. Mars's atmosphere is just 1% as thick as Earth's, and it's composed almost entirely of carbon dioxide. This means there's no breathable air, no protection from micrometeorites, and no way to retain heat. Temperatures on Mars can plummet to -80 degrees Fahrenheit at night, making it one of the coldest places in the solar system. To survive, colonists would need to live in pressurized habitats, where the air, temperature, and humidity are carefully controlled. These habitats would need to be airtight, durable, and capable of withstanding the harsh Martian environment. And of course, they'd need to be powered, which brings us to the next challenge: energy. Mars is farther from the Sun than Earth, which means solar panels would be less efficient. Dust storms can also block sunlight for weeks or even months, making solar power unreliable. To solve this problem, SpaceX is exploring alternative energy sources, such as nuclear power. Small portable reactors could provide a steady supply of energy, even during the longest dust storms. But nuclear power comes with its own set of challenges, including the risk of radiation leaks and the difficulty of transporting fuel from Earth. It's a complex problem, but one that Musk believes we can solve with the right technology. And then there's the issue of water. Water is essential for life, and while there's evidence that Mars has ice beneath its surface, extracting and purifying that ice won't be easy. Colonists would need to drill deep into the Martian soil, melt the ice, and then filter out any toxins or contaminants. This process would require advanced machinery and a reliable source of energy. But if successful, it could provide enough water to sustain a growing colony. Elon Musk has even suggested that we could use water to produce oxygen and rocket fuel, making it a key resource for both survival and exploration. But perhaps the biggest challenge of all is the psychological toll of living on Mars. Imagine being millions of miles from Earth, cut off from family and friends, and living in a small, confined habitat with a handful of other people. The isolation, the monotony, and the constant danger could take a serious toll on mental health. To address this, SpaceX is exploring ways to make life on Mars more comfortable and enjoyable. This could include virtual reality systems to simulate Earth-like environments, regular communication with loved ones back home, and even the creation of green spaces to boost morale. But even with these measures, living on Mars will be a test of human resilience like nothing we've ever faced. Despite these challenges, Elon Musk remains optimistic. He believes that with the right technology and a bit of human ingenuity, we can overcome any obstacle. And he's not alone. Scientists, engineers, and dreamers around the world are working tirelessly to turn Musk's vision into reality. But as we'll see in the next section, there's one idea that's even more ambitious and more controversial than anything we've discussed so far: terraforming Mars. The idea of transforming the red planet into a second Earth is both thrilling and terrifying, and it raises questions that go far beyond science and technology. But we'll get to that later. For now, let's take a moment to appreciate the scale of what we're talking about. Colonizing Mars isn't just a technical challenge, it's a test of what humanity is capable of. It's a reminder that we are resilient, resourceful, and above all, determined. And that's what makes this journey so exciting, so inspiring, and so important. If you are enjoying the video so far and would like to support the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, as it helps support the channel. Now let's get back to the video. Terraforming Mars. The very idea sounds like something out of a science fiction novel, but for Elon Musk, it's a serious possibility. The concept is simple. Transform Mars from a cold, barren wasteland into a warm, habitable world with breathable air, flowing water, and a stable climate. It's a vision that's as bold as it is controversial, and it raises questions that go far beyond science and technology. So, how exactly would we terraform Mars? And should we even try? Let's dive in. The first step in terraforming Mars would be to thicken its atmosphere. Right now, the Martian atmosphere is about 100 times thinner than Earth's, and it's made up mostly of carbon dioxide. To make Mars habitable, we'd need to increase the atmospheric pressure and temperature, creating a greenhouse effect that would warm the planet. One way to do this is by releasing greenhouse gases, such as methane or carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere. Elon Musk has even suggested using nuclear bombs to vaporize the polar ice caps, releasing trapped carbon dioxide and water vapor into the air. It's a radical idea, but it just might work. Imagine the spectacle. A series of controlled explosions on a planetary scale, designed to kickstart a process that could take centuries to complete. It's the kind of audacious thinking that has become Musk's trademark. But is it realistic? Once the atmosphere is thicker, the next step would be to warm the planet. This could be done by placing giant mirrors in orbit around Mars, reflecting sunlight onto the surface and raising temperatures. These mirrors, known as solar satellites, could be kilometers wide and made of lightweight, reflective materials. They'd act like a cosmic magnifying glass, focusing sunlight onto specific regions of Mars to melt ice and release more greenhouse gases. Another option is to introduce microbes or algae that can survive in extreme conditions and produce oxygen as a byproduct. Scientists have already identified Earth-based organisms, like cyanobacteria, that could potentially thrive on Mars. These tiny life forms could be the key to creating a breathable atmosphere, turning Mars into a world where humans could live without the need for spacesuits or pressurized habitats. But terraforming Mars wouldn't be quick or easy. It could take centuries, maybe even millennia, and the process would require an enormous amount of resources, energy, and technology. For example, producing enough greenhouse gases to warm Mars would require mining and processing vast amounts of material from the planet's surface. We'd also need to develop advanced systems for managing the atmosphere, preventing it from leaking back into space over time. And let's not forget the sheer scale of the project. Mars is a planet, after all. Transforming it would be the largest engineering project in human history. There's also the question of ethics. Do we have the right to alter another planet's environment? What if there's already life on Mars, even in microbial form? Would terraforming destroy that life? Or could we find a way to coexist? These are questions that don't have easy answers, but they're questions we'll need to confront if we're serious about making Mars our second home. Some scientists argue that we have a moral obligation to preserve Mars as it is, treating it as a kind of nature reserve for scientific study. Others believe that humanity's survival is the highest priority and that terraforming Mars is a necessary step in ensuring our long-term future. And then there's the issue of practicality. Even if we could terraform Mars, would it be worth the effort? Some scientists argue that it would be easier and more cost-effective to build domed cities or underground habitats, rather than trying to transform the entire planet. These structures could provide a controlled environment, shielding colonists from radiation, extreme temperatures, and dust storms. They could also be built much sooner, allowing us to establish a presence on Mars without waiting for centuries of terraforming. In fact, some experts believe that domed cities could be the first step toward terraforming. serving as a testing ground for the technologies and systems we'd need to transform the planet. But for Elon Musk, the idea of terraforming Mars is about more than just practicality. It's about ambition. It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible and creating a world where humanity can thrive for generations to come. It's about proving that we are capable of achieving the impossible, of reaching for the stars and making them our own. And while the challenges are immense, Musk believes that with the right technology and a bit of human ingenuity, we can make it happen. So, should we terraform Mars? The answer isn't clear. It's a question that forces us to think about our place in the universe, our responsibility to other forms of life, and the legacy we want to leave behind. It's a question that challenges us to dream big, to imagine a future that's not just about survival, but about thriving. And it's a question that we'll continue to grapple with as we explore the possibilities of life on Mars and beyond. The idea of terraforming Mars is both thrilling and terrifying, and it's a reminder that the future of humanity is limited only by our imagination and our courage to pursue it. While terraforming Mars is a fascinating idea, it's not the only way to make the red planet habitable. In fact, there are alternative solutions that could allow us to establish a presence on Mars much sooner, without waiting centuries for the planet to transform. These solutions focus on creating smaller, self-contained environments where humans can live and work, shielded from the harsh Martian conditions. Let's explore these ideas and how they could shape the future of Mars colonization. One of the most promising alternatives is the concept of domed cities. These would be massive, pressurized structures built on the Martian surface, designed to mimic Earth-like conditions. Inside these domes, colonists would have access to breathable air, comfortable temperatures, and even green spaces filled with plants and trees. The domes would be made from strong, transparent materials like reinforced glass or advanced polymers, allowing sunlight to filter through while protecting inhabitants from radiation and dust storms. Imagine walking through a lush green park on Mars, with the red landscape visible through the dome's walls. It's a vision that's both futuristic and strangely familiar. But domed cities are just the beginning. Another option is to build underground habitats. Mars's surface may be hostile, but its subsurface could offer a safe haven for colonists. By digging tunnels and chambers beneath the Martian soil, we could create living spaces that are naturally shielded from radiation and extreme temperatures. These habitats could be powered by nuclear reactors or solar panels on the surface, and they could include everything from homes and laboratories to farms and recreational areas. Some scientists have even proposed using lava tubes, natural tunnels formed by ancient volcanic activity, as ready-made habitats. These tubes could provide instant shelter, reducing the need for costly and time-consuming construction. Then there's the idea of using Martian resources to sustain the colony. This concept, known as in situ resource utilization, ISRU, involves extracting water, minerals, and other materials from the Martian environment to support human life. For example, we could drill into the ice beneath the surface to extract water, which could be used for drinking, growing crops, and even producing oxygen and rocket fuel. We could also mine Martian soil for metals and minerals using 3D printing technology to build structures and tools on site. This approach would reduce the need to transport supplies from Earth, making the colony more self-sufficient and sustainable. But perhaps the most intriguing alternative is the concept of bioregenerative life support systems. These are closed-loop systems that use plants, algae, and microorganisms to recycle waste, produce oxygen, and grow food. Imagine a Martian greenhouse filled with crops, where every breath you take is produced by the plants around you, and every meal you eat is grown locally. These systems could be integrated into domed cities or underground habitats, creating a self-sustaining ecosystem that mimics Earth's natural cycles. It's a vision that's both practical and poetic, a reminder that life, even on Mars, is deeply interconnected. Of course, these alternatives come with their own set of challenges. Building domed cities or underground habitats would require advanced materials and construction techniques, as well as a reliable source of energy. ISRU technology is still in its early stages, and we'd need to develop efficient methods for extracting and processing Martian resources. And bioregenerative systems would need to be carefully balanced to ensure they can support human life over the long term. But despite these challenges, these solutions offer a more immediate and achievable path to Mars colonization, one that doesn't require us to wait for the planet to transform. So, which approach is better? Terraforming Mars or building self-contained habitats? The answer may lie in combining both ideas. We could start by establishing domed cities and underground habitats, creating a foothold on Mars while we work on the long-term goal of terraforming. Over time, as technology advances and our understanding of Mars grows, we could gradually expand our presence, transforming the planet into a second Earth. It's a vision that's both ambitious and pragmatic. A reminder that the future of Mars colonization is not an either-or choice, but a spectrum of possibilities. Ultimately, the decision will come down to more than just science and technology. It will depend on our values, our priorities, and our vision for the future. Do we see Mars as a blank canvas, waiting for us to reshape it in our image? Or do we see it as a unique and precious world, deserving of respect and preservation? These are questions that will shape the future of Mars colonization and the future of humanity itself. As we continue to explore the possibilities, let's remember that the journey to Mars is not just about reaching a new world. It's about discovering who we are and who we want to become. Now that we've explored the challenges of living on Mars, the bold idea of terraforming, and the alternative solutions for making the red planet habitable, it's time to reflect on what all of this means for humanity. The dream of colonizing Mars isn't just about science or technology, it's about our future as a species. It's about survival, exploration, and the relentless human drive to push the boundaries of what's possible. So what does Mars colonization mean for us, and what kind of future are we building? Let's dive into the final chapter of this journey. First and foremost, Mars colonization is about survival. Earth is a fragile planet, vulnerable to natural disasters, climate change, and human-made threats like nuclear war. By establishing a presence on Mars, we create a backup plan for humanity, a way to ensure that our species can endure even if something catastrophic happens on Earth. Elon Musk has often compared this to keeping a copy of your computer files on an external hard drive. It's not that you expect your computer to fail, but if it does, you'll be glad you have a backup. For Musk, Mars is that backup, a safeguard against the uncertainties of the future. But Mars colonization is about more than just survival. It's also about exploration. For centuries, humans have looked up at the night sky and wondered what lies beyond our world. Mars represents the next great frontier, a place where we can test our limits, expand our knowledge, and discover new possibilities. By colonizing Mars, we take the next step in our journey as explorers, building on the legacy of pioneers like Columbus, Armstrong, and Gagarin. It's a chance to write a new chapter in the story of humanity, one that takes us beyond the confines of Earth and into the cosmos. And then there's the question of inspiration. The journey to Mars has the power to capture the imagination of people around the world, inspiring a new generation of scientists, engineers, and dreamers. Just as the Apollo missions sparked a wave of innovation and creativity in the 20th century, Mars colonization could ignite a new era of discovery and progress. It's a reminder that we are capable of achieving the impossible, of reaching for the stars and making them our own. And it's a call to action, urging us to dream big and work together to build a better future. But Mars colonization also raises important questions about our values and priorities. As we venture into space, we'll need to decide what kind of civilization we want to create. Will we bring the same problems that plague Earth, inequality, conflict, environmental destruction, or will we learn from our mistakes and build a society that's more just, sustainable, and inclusive? Mars offers us a chance to start fresh, to create a new world from the ground up. but it's up to us to decide what that world will look like. And let's not forget the ethical questions. As we explore and colonize Mars, we'll need to consider our responsibility to other forms of life, both on Earth and beyond. What if we discover microbial life on Mars? How will we balance our desire to explore with our obligation to protect and preserve? These are questions that don't have easy answers, but they're questions we'll need to confront as we take our first steps toward becoming a multiplanetary species. So, what does the future hold for Mars colonization? The truth is, no one knows for sure. The journey to Mars will be long, difficult, and full of challenges. But it's also a journey filled with hope, ambition, and the promise of a brighter future. Whether we're building domed cities, terraforming the planet, or exploring underground habitats, one thing is clear. Mars represents a new chapter in the story of humanity. It's a chance to push the boundaries of what's possible, to explore new frontiers, and to create a future that's as bold and daring as our dreams. As we conclude this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on what Mars colonization means for us. It's not just about reaching a new world, it's about discovering who we are and who we want to become. It's about proving that we are capable of achieving the impossible, of reaching for the stars and making them our own. And it's a reminder that the future of humanity is limited only by our imagination and our courage to pursue it. Thank you for joining me on this journey to Mars. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exploration into the wonders of the universe. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about Mars colonization? Should we go? And what kind of future do you want to see on the red planet? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep looking up and keep dreaming. The universe is waiting.